I'm Mike from St. Thomas Economic Development, here with another little update from the St. Thomas Megasite. So today we're inside the ranch, hiding from a fairly wet, rainy December day out there, and I'm joined once again by Harrie from AMICO. Harrie, how's it going?
It's going well today, Mike. Yourself?
I'm doing okay. Thanks for asking. You know, no one asks me that actually on these videos. I appreciate that. Yeah. So Harrie, we just thought we'd check in with you. AMICO's done a lot on the site this year and still has a few projects that you're kind of just finishing up for the season. I wanted to ask you what those projects are and how they're going.
Yeah. So back in September, we wrapped up the grading contract for the VW plant. And we're just in the midst of closing things up for winter on the rail spur and earthworks for the shunting yard in the future.
Okay, right on. And so the shunting yard and the Battery Boulevard and the Hydro 1 corridor, that's like a fairly wide corridor. That was a lot of earthwork, but you guys seem to make quick work of that. How did that go?
It went well. We started right after the battery plant. We pivoted and just moved all the crews working north to south instead of south to north. And it went well. I mean, it's 75 to 80 meters wide and about a couple kilometers long. So we got the majority of it moved before the weather set in, but we're going to come back and start that up in the spring and finish that off and get the rest of the project ready to receive the structural members that are going to go on the bridge and start installing the rail in probably June.
That's exciting. Now for the rail yard, I've heard that with a rail yard like this, you actually have a slight concavity that you build into it so that any runaway cars stay in the rail yard and don't escape. Is that something that's been done at this point, or is that something that happens later on in the actual construction of the ballast and other parts of the rail?
It's extremely hard to see right now because we've got certain locations on grade and other locations not on grade for access. It'll be probably more visible near the end of the summer next year, but I have heard that there is a belly in the rail. But normally as a sewer guy, you don't want bellies in things because it either traps water and other things. So, but for rails, I guess it's okay.
All right, well, we'll allow it. And then for the spur coming off of the CN line, what stage is that at? I was talking to Justin. He said that you sort of like start above and there's some settlement and then there's other parts that have to go onto that. What work is done so far and then what still gets done next year?
So right now we've got all the grading work completed up to the rail corridor, along with any preloading required to introduce settlement to design requirements. And come spring, we'll interface, get flagging permission and access to the rail corridor. And then we'll finish off our grading and cut in. Basically, we have to cut in a switch for this spur line. So we'll probably do that August, September next year.
Okay. And so we've seen and we've covered some of the action that's going on the rail bridge out there. But what will it look like when the steel comes? Like how quickly will that project come together at this point?
Right now we have delivery teed up for just before Easter in April 2025. And our subcontractor Burnco and ES Fox would need about 3.5 weeks to put all that structural steel together. So it's a structural steel frame, and then there's a steel tub or a steel pan, as we call that, actually holds in the ballast. So there's a lot of bolts. It's one of those structures that CN wants everything bolted. So there's like hundreds of thousands of bolts that have to be put into this structure and all torqued and set and inspected. So it's a bit of a process.
Wow. What's the reason for wanting bolts on a structure like this?
I think it's just one of those things where CN, this is the way they've been doing these structures for years. And I think it makes it easier for them to replace any components so they can unbolt it and put it back in. And it's easy to ship on a rail car. Mm-hmm. So they don't have to worry about size.
That makes sense. If it's not broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Now, Harrie, we've talked in the past about how you feel that the construction manager is the most important job on the job site. But I did want to ask, like in the role that you have, you oversee a lot of work and a lot of different projects. What's the most rewarding part of the role that you have and the work that you do?
For me, it's actually working with our younger staff, educating them on how to manage contracts, how to read contracts is like their first.
A man in demand.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
And watching them develop and, month over month, year over year, they become stronger, more able to kind of work on their own. And I'm a big fan of doing a lot of different things and learning new things. So that kind of transcends down through with the staff I have. So seeing them able to actually take a project start to finish on their own is what I look forward to. But ultimately, I like seeing projects done. right? Like at the end of the day, it all comes down to, are you done on time and on budget? And if you can check those two boxes, then that's pretty rewarding, actually.
Yeah. And we're very happy to see you developing the workforce of the future and getting jobs done on time and on budget. So thank you very much for both of those things. Thanks for tuning in. Like and subscribe on YouTube and stay tuned for another little update coming soon.